So a guy with the shoe that's got human blood in it and a pentagram hanging off of the front of it took a Jordan, a Nike, no, excuse me, wasn't a Jordan, is a Nike Air Max, I think a 97 model, and made his own shoe and put Luke 10:18, which is jerked right out of context, and making 666 pairs of them to sell, I think, at $1,018. Again, another reference to Luke 10 and verse 18. And then the video, I only saw a part of it, but that thing is rancid and trashy. So he's the enemy, right? I'm Zach. This is The Average Christian, a project simply about what it means to have a relationship with God, how to live that out in practical terms, and keeping ourselves accountable. So will the real enemy please stand up? Because is it this guy, Lil Nas X? I think that's how you say it, right? Lil Nas X. Is it Islam? Is it China? Is it our own American society? Is it the Democrats or the Republicans? Who's the real enemy here? Look, we know, but we don't know. We know and we believe, but we don't really believe and trust, because we talk about all of the other tools that Satan is using, and he manages to make himself look like an angel at times. He is the wolf in sheep's clothing. And so we know, but we get distracted and we fall into his traps and his snares. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10, as he's finishing up this letter, he says, finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might, not in what you know about the news today, not in what you plan on standing up for and against, not in all these other things that seem to be remedies. Be strong in the Lord, in his might, not in your Christian nation and who all is with you and going to stand and what all they're going to do, but in God's might. Put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. Finally, he stood up. There he is. That's the real enemy, the devil. You and I forget because he uses people. And we think, well, he's the enemy. This guy that made this horrible video is the enemy. And this group is the enemy. And Planned Parenthood and whoever else you can put in there. No, the schemes of the devil. He's behind all this. We do not wrestle. Those of you so worried, and I know I'm going to catch flack for this, those of you so worried about gun control, we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. I'm not saying we shouldn't have guns. Please do not comment and say that that's what I said. Don't put words in my mouth. But I see people who are so much more interested in gun legislation than they are about their faith in God, seemingly. They talk a lot more about it. But against the rulers, we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. Now, Zach, define that for me. I can't. I don't know. Let me just say it again. Against the rulers, the authorities, the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. That doesn't sound daunting enough. You need more detail than that. He says, therefore, take up, like you know what the battle is. I'm asking you to pay attention to who the real enemy is here, because he's saying it right here. He says it over and over. The devil shows himself in the Bible. You know who the enemy is. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God that you may be able to withstand in the evil day. Now, then, we need to do a video on the last times, don't we, or the end times. And having done all, to stand firm. Now, the first thing he tells you in putting on the armor, and I'm going to chastise this a little bit again here, and you're going to say, man, you just keep talking about this over and over. Yes, I do, because it's the same remedy, same problem. So it needs to be talked about. Stand therefore, having fastened the belt of truth. That's the first thing he says. Put on the belt of truth. And you don't really trust it. You know how I know? Because you still ain't reading. You're still not studying. You still don't trust that you can open this up and read, that you can pray before you talk to God, that you can ask, seek, and knock, like Jesus said, and find. You don't trust it to be the real weapon against the enemy because you're still not using it. And that just shows you how much we don't trust. It shows you how much we misunderstand, how good the devil is at what he's doing by distracting us and making us think it's about all these other issues and all of these other solutions. And this is your and my real solution. So yeah, is this one a little bit negative? Maybe so, but we got to pay attention. You think that things are getting worse in our society. They are. You think people are becoming less tolerant of Christians. They are. And you think that the answer is to find some sort of utopian American nation where Christianity has the rule of the day, and it's not. The answers are here. The answers in the word, and you're going to be tested, and so am I, to find out what we really believe and what we'll say and what we'll stand up for and stand up against. And we better know what we're talking about, and we'd better be able to back it up. I hope this helps. I want to thank you for being with us today. If you're watching on YouTube and you have not yet already, please hit this button, subscribe. It helps us out, helps us grow the channel. Over here are videos that YouTube either recommends or the last one we released. Our podcast listeners, we appreciate you being with us. We're asking you to subscribe, rate, and review to help once again grow the channel. Please share this with other people and help them out.